Well, I'm on my way to go get something to eat. Get up this morning, I had physio early this morning before the qualifiers. I didn't know how that would go over, but I went to physio, went to the qualifiers. We had a decent day. Don't quote me. I think we had 16 that qualified, or were in to qualify, and they all qualified. I think 13. I don't know. They all qualified anyway. Some were okay. Some were okay. Some were good. A couple were really good. You know what? Let's start off. This is not just a qualifying report. Obviously, we had a horse to talk about that get injured. One that really broke my heart. They all do when they get injured, but one near and dear to my heart, that's for sure. And Johan, trained him this week. He was great. He was in to qualify tomorrow, ready to go. Middle of the week, he ended up a little swelling in his leg. We got it checked out, and he has a tear in his suspensory left hind. Frustrating. Obviously, the same questions come up when a horse gets hurt. How? How did the horse get hurt? You know, was it the weather this winter? Was it the track? Was it the farm? Was it the way I trained him on Monday? How did Johan get hurt? That's a tough one. They all train down on the same track. They all stay at the same farm. Train them all the same way. In fact, I train a lot of them a lot harder than I've been training Johan. I felt Monday he was really, really turning the corner and starting to come around. Guess I was wrong. You know, is this an injury you could have saw coming? We've had Johan to the vet twice in the last 2 weeks for different reasons. One, total vet check, completely clean, nothing wrong with that left hind leg. Then we had that splint cryo right front on him on Tuesday after he trained. No issues with any hind legs then. Wasn't until Thursday morning it popped up. So did he kick the wall? Did he hurt himself? I don't know. I don't know what he did. But I know that that's it for 2019 for Johan, which is, you know, when you look back, and I don't want to name names because I don't want to bring up bad memories, but we've had some horses that had some tragic injuries this year. This was a racing or training incident, I suppose. I would suggest that if he was going to tear that suspensory after training, he would have done it eventually racing, wouldn't he? And unfortunately, it's one of those things. And for those of you out there that say to yourself, you know, I think Anthony knows. He knows throughout the year the best ones. We all knew Knockdown Dragout was good. Who else did I talk about? Miss Mischief Maker, how much I loved her. She just qualified average today. I don't know why. I know that she was interfering a little bit. I can fix that stuff, but we'll talk about the track and the weather and whatnot later. And Johan was the other horse. Two horses I've touted and touted and touted all year. Two horses that I thought were going to be two standouts this year. Two horses I thought we could rely on this year. One's injured, one doesn't look good at all. Then we had horses that I never really talked about that much other than to say they were doing their work right. Yours if you want it. Might not have qualified good the other day, make no mistake. One of our best horses right now is Yours If You Want It. Who else is there? Almost every horse going to Ohio trained okay this winter, but didn't train great. Like it was like, oh my God, this is a standout. Spend that money was good, but she wasn't at the top of her class all year. Compass Rose DC was near the bottom. I would say well under halfway of our horses. If we had 70 horses, Compass Rose DC didn't crack the top 35 until a month or a month and a half ago. She was okay. She had her moments, but was she a horse that we would say is stakes caliber? No. Just hopeful. She looked some good the last month. And then some horses faltered, didn't they? There's not much we can do about that, but it goes to show you, you just don't know until they get in behind the gate. So that was very, very depressing news for a number of reasons. Then we raced our horses last night. For those of you who continue to email me, say any updates on Brush Cut, I didn't get an update from Scott DiDomenico yet on Brush Cut, but we all saw the race. That wasn't Brush Cut. I mean, Brush Cut clearly, either George Brennan shut his air off before he moved him a little bit, or the horse scoped sick. That wasn't Brush Cut last night. You know, if he had been beaten second, I would have been angry because he didn't get away in the 2-hole. To finish up the way he did, obviously there was something wrong. As far as lameness, there was no lameness issues I'm certain that Scott would have informed me immediately if there was any issue after the race. The only note I got was, I'll get that colt scoped immediately. And I haven't heard from Scott yet, but I will today at some point. Rest assured, I can assure you, he either flipped his palate or had mucus in his airway and lungs, or both. Something very correctable. Arctic Force was on the left line, Daniel Dubé said after the race. Kind of sucks, but is good. He's on the right line his whole life. He said, take the head puller Murphy off. If you can race him over Yonkers without a head puller or Murphy blind, he'll be fine. His next start will be in Monticello, I believe. And then we raced Buckingham last night, and she got away 8th and didn't really get a chance to race, and you know, finished up 6th, 7th, 8th. But it reaffirms that we can put her back in the condition claimer next start and really put a beating on them all summer. So although last night was a little tough on Buckingham, it's only gonna lead to a softer summer for the rest of the summer for her. What else? I feel I'm missing a horse. 2 in New York. Oh, Arvika made a break. Arvika wasn't long being on the truck. As far as I know, Arvika is going to show up in Ontario within the next 2 hours. Right after the race, I had called Doyle and said, we got to get this filly back home. You know, but you guys know as well as I do. You know, we do a pretty good job. We work as hard as we can. Scott DiDomenico is the 3rd leading trainer in North America by money right now. 3rd leading trainer. Take nothing away from him. You know, it's certainly not his fault. He just got the 2-year-old colts. He's trying to get them set up the race in a different jurisdiction with different surfaces and different racetracks. So, you know, the gear that we had on Brush Cut, maybe he needs his gear changed. That's with us training him, not Daniel Dubé driving him, not hung up in a way where you can start and stop him. I was happy with his qualifier, as I think everybody was and should be, but wasn't good last night. He was on the left line, finished up 6th. He said he'll do. Dubé told me he'll do. Brush Cut, obviously, I'm almost certain he shut his air off at some point in the mile, but that's fixable and treatable, and I don't think it's something that should reoccur, I wouldn't think. And then we had Arvika, who made that break. I don't know what's going on with Arvika. You know, she busted around Flamborough on 58 and can't get around the first turn at Yonkers. I find that hard to believe, but she did make a break at London. Maybe she just can't, or maybe the turns are too flat at Yonkers, or I have no idea. But she's on her way back here now. And then Buckingham, obviously, we can fix last night by simply reclassifying her. So then we came to today. I get up in the morning, got my physio done, got everybody warmed up, obviously. So thanks to their clients, who gave me a rundown here. Sheet, very, very thorough. Sheet, Mary Leeson, gave me her paperwork from today, so that's good. We had, how many did we have here? 4, 8. No, that's not right. I think they've said we have 13. Here, I'll count it up right now real quick for you. We had 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nothing in there. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Maybe I missed something. I got 14. Anyway, they all qualified. No, that's not true. We'll talk about a horse that didn't qualify simply because of time. Pretty frustrating when that happens. We'll talk about that in a minute. Let's go. So first of all, I get up. I went to physio. My wrist. Now, if you guys saw my wrist before, I'll take the brace. Just a little thing. Take that off it. You saw the motion. That's my motion right now in my wrist. I'm trying to get you the best view. Pretty good. It was really stiff after I got the cast off and got the pins out. They're working on it. I felt good today. I was a little worried. I forgot my brace. I had a little thing, and it had 2 pieces of plastic here, so if the horses were hooking on, I could slide my hand through, and I was worried. I forgot my brace at home. Didn't need it. Had a little vet wrap on my arm today. It was great. Never had a problem. No issues. I even forgot about it, to be honest. And if you watch Capistrano's race, she was hooking on a little bit, but I stayed in with her. I was in harm's way, and never had an issue. So that's great. Got to the track, got everybody warmed up. Obviously, my biggest concerns of the day were Rosa Versatile. She's going to Pennsylvania. Wanted to get her Spirit of Dio. Huge, huge A lot of pressure on me with this filly for a number of reasons. I wanted to get Miss Mischief Maker done and out of the way. A lot going on today, but I wanted to make sure everything was good, and it was for the most part. First qualifier was Inland Beach. I forgot we'd horsed in early because I started in the 4th. I look up, here's Inland Beach on the front. Now, here's the thing about today. The track was dead at the start, very dead. And then the last 2 qualifiers of the day, it was hot as a bugger out. The wind died down and the horses were flying. Up until that point, it was kind of off, right? I put Rosa and Versatile on the front. She felt great, got picked off 2-1. She really felt like she was going to go 58 or 59 today. Very happy with that filly today. So we'll start from the front. Inland Beach, Mario put her on the front. She got picked off. Last half in, I think, 57 and a bit. Last quarter, 28 was her own last quarter. She must have paced 159 and 1. Do they even have our lines? No, they don't have our lines. She probably paced 59 a piece, 2 minutes, but looked good doing it. Come right out in the second. I didn't see them get to the start. I look up and they're at the half. Our horses were perfect in there. Enjoying My Life was third. Went exactly where we needed to go. 2-3. Mario did a great job with her. The front end wasn't holding up. I wish we had erased them all from off the pace. But Enjoying My Life was third and went great. And then Sylvain went with Canadian Titan. Simply, I could have went with her, but Sylvain went with her last 3 times. Why do I need to go with her? He went with her, and she was great. He said she was very, very good, much better than last week. Knuckling over a little bit. We might start her on some marquee for EPM. You see that knuckling over? First thing you want to go to is that. Especially this day and age. So probably we'll start Canadian Titan on a little marquee. But she was very, very good today. Really impressive. Third qualifier was Fox Valley Shazam. Now, Fox Valley Shazam wears a tight set of hobbles, and Mario really frustrated. He's not attuned to putting them on tight. I've always had to set them and go with her. I might go with Fox Valley Shazam next week. She's fine and ready to go mile 59. She got a little vet work done today, or this week. She might have been a little under the weather. Okay, mile 2-3. I think she should come back 59, 2 minutes next week. I think I'll go with her next week because Mario's used to, and I'm going to explain it. This is not Mario's fault. Mario Bergeron and his brother always have light shoes on them up front and longer hobbles. And you have to understand, there's this old adage, there's more than one way to skin a cat. It's kind of ridiculous, but fits here. Ben Bergeron does not train how we train and hang horses up how we hang them up. Doesn't mean that I do a better job. In fact, look at the stats. Ben does a better job. Always has. He's an older guy and just a very, very good trainer. Very good trainer. So they always have the hobbles out longer and the shoes on lighter. Me, I like tight hobbles. They need them tight, put them tight. They need some weight, put the weight on them. I want them trotting. And if you watch the race, Fox Valley Shazam, watch the strap underneath the back going from the hobbles to the bike. And you can see it flapping down the lane. She's not using those hobbles. They're too long. And she's looking for them. So she's boxing her gait up down the lane and the hobbles aren't helping her. We went through this before. She schooled so-so. And then we put the hobbles on her. She went out and schooled in 59. So one of our clients, Paul, one of your partners, if you own that mare with Paul, messaged and said, she looked better 2-3 weeks ago. What happened? 2 things. 1, the track was a little dead. And 2, the hobbles were too loose on the filly. She got around. She did her work. I'll go with her next week, or I'll at least set the hobbles up. I was running around doing a million things, and Mario knows they need to go on tight, but I did see him go out the door, and they did look tight, but they need to be adjusted. And I'll tell you why. Spirit of Dio wears the tightest hobble I've ever seen since my favorite horse of all time, the Big Fred, who wore an exceedingly difficult, tight set of hobbles. You think White Tiger broke his hobbles because they were tight? This filly would obliterate the hobbles that White Tiger had on. She wears them so tight. In fact, I set her hobbles going on the track today, and I still pulled them in 2 more holes going to the gate. And she didn't get tired. She just fell asleep down the lane. The horse come. Anyway, we'll talk about her in a minute. Fox Valley Shazam just needs the hobbles a little tighter. She'll qualify in 59 next week if the track is good. 4th qualifier, I went with Fusspot. Now, 2 things. Fusspot, I think, I know she wasn't right today, a little sick, a little whatever. She doesn't have the eye of the tiger, and I think I'm going to make it official soon. We're going to move Fusspot on. Now, for those of you that have been with us all year, you know how good Fusspot was all year. It seems like she plateaued in February or March, and then as the horses picked up speed and get better and better and better and stronger, again, attitude plays a role. She just didn't care. So I think we're probably just going to move Fusspot on. There's no point saying, hey, you know, we'll get her blood checked and we'll scope her. I know there's mucus in. She might have tied up a little bit. She didn't show me. She'd have given up the last quarter, last eighth, last 3/8, fizzled out. Okay, there's something wrong. She never picked up the bit once. And, you know, I'm too busy, you're too busy. We have too many horses trying their hardest to do the best job they can, to have horses around that don't care. Fusspot, Gonzo. So we're probably going to move Fusspot right away. Come out with Rose Run Versatile. I didn't know what to think. She's not that good on the front, but I knew I wanted to go a mile and 59 or 2 minutes. I put her on the front. The wind was pretty strong for those middle qualifiers. That's the problem, is that when you have so many qualifiers, the sun's out, yeah. Plus, it was a nice day, maybe 15 degrees. It went up to 22. That's why you saw some faster miles at the end of the day. And as the heat hit at the end of the day, the wind died down. Last 2 races, 56, 57, a couple of big miles. You didn't see that, although you saw horses working hard in the middle part of the program. I thought Rose Run Versatile, awesome. Probably going to start her in the Stallion Series, though. Really like the way this filly looked, though. Very impressive. Looked very, very good today. Now, we went on to race 6. We had no one in race 6. That's fine. Race 7, we had Time Will Dazzle, Spirididio. Now, Spirididio might have been out the whole way, but James says, geez, you were pretty hard on her. Well, you guys can't keep her trotting. Here's number 1 rule. Number 1, I was making fun of James a little bit. I looked at Trevor Henry behind the gate and I said, Trevor, what's the number 1 rule when driving trotters? Keep them trotting? Bingo, keep them trotting. And Spirididio, I wasn't giving her an inch today. She wasn't going down to the rail. I just sat in the outside, cleared to the lead, and she would have trotted away, only she just got a little sleepy on the front end. You know, very fast filly. This filly is ready to go a big mile. Didn't look like it today. Don't kid yourself. Get this filly to the Meadowlands, get some speed in front of her, get a tiny bit. As the race goes on, she'll get confidence. I wouldn't be shocked if Spirididio trotted in 55, 56 her first start. She's going to be heading to the Meadowlands, and I'll be going to drive her. So, there's a little scoop for you right now. I was very happy with Spirididio today. You might not have seen it. It might have looked like she kind of went okay. Track wasn't great. It was really windy. She was out the whole way, cleared to the front at the head of the lane. If I had roared at her and really chased her down the lane, she wins a qualifier, but I'm not going to put her on the run. She runs 100 feet to the wire. I would have been in very, very sour trim at myself. And number 1 rule, keep them trotting. Got a flat line on her, got her qualified. Watch and see how she looks next week at the Meadowlands. I can get her off the gate and get her 3/8 of a mile into her, whether she just starts to settle and be a racehorse. I'm going to see a big mile out of this filly. She's a very, very nice filly. She was good. Time Will Dazzle closing in late. Mario said she went a good mile. When I went by Mario, who was 2 lengths off, you need to keep that filly on the helmet in front of her. She needs to be in attack mode. If you let her settle and drop into neutral, she will not put out the same way. When Danny O'Brien went with her last week, I told Danny, make sure you make her work. And she was finishing like a freight train. I think she was good today. Need to keep this filly up on a helmet. No big deal. She's qualified and ready to go. Next, race 8. We had Need Your Opinion, skipped over a shadow. They didn't chart her with a break. Skipped over a shadow, James said. I don't care who she's by or who she's out of. This filly can fly. 28 seconds, bow on her neck, earplugs in her ears. Very nice filly. Very impressive today. She's impressed everybody. I haven't really got a chance to go with her that much, but I know that James went with her today and loves her. Jody loved her. Jonathan Drury loved her. Anybody that's ever sat behind her likes her. You know, she's just a nice filly, and she was awesome today. Our first winner of the morning. Next, we had Capistrano. There's a filly I got away in the 3-hole with. I didn't move her in the last turn. It never even dawned on me that this would be a problem, and it wasn't. I felt great, and Capistrano felt great. 27 and a piece on the end of it, a mile and 58. Nice filly, looked really nice today. Very impressed with her. I'll talk about another horse out of Harry's barn I was extremely impressed with later on, but Capistrano, very good today. Then we had Miss Brampton Beast. Not as good on the front end. She probably went a mile in 2 minutes. Last 3 quarters, 127 and 2. I think maybe put aluminums on her up front. Those shoes, she's got a big climby gait to her. I think she's better if we had to put put the aluminums on her up front, and race her from off the pace. Mario knows that too. This filly's ready to probably pace 56, 57 her first start out. Just shaking that old ring rust off from the spring. But I think she is ready to go. Then we went to the next one. Now, this race was close enough to the end of the day. I really thought Miss Mischief Maker was sitting on a 59 mile. How could I be that wrong? Beaten in 2-3. She's not as good on the front. I saw her picking at her outside knee. She ripped the tape. She's going to need knee boots on. But how can I be that wrong? This filly, I think, just needs some work. She's going to start her first start in the Stallion Series in Pennsylvania. Nothing wrong with that. I love her attitude. She trotted well today. Did interfere a little bit. Didn't finish off her work. I'm going to explain that in a minute. Now, usually when horses don't finish off their work, they're tired or they're just not wound with that eye of the tiger killer instinct. This filly always had that. I didn't see it today. Could have been a number of reasons I didn't. But I didn't see it today. So I'll leave it at that. I'm not giving up on this filly. I think she's still got, one, a ton of good breeding. Very nice filly. Two, she always had that eye of the tiger. I'd like to see it come back. I'd like to see it come back at the Meadows, her first start. Not impressed with Miss Mischief Maker today, so to speak. It would be a lie if I said, oh yeah, she was so good today. She wasn't. She was okay. But I'm certainly not giving up on her. What about our girl, Muscle Chrome? Now, she didn't go fast enough to qualify for Mohawk. She qualified, proved me wrong. I didn't think she'd be ready till the end of the summer. Muscle Chrome looked good. Mario's laughing. He said, she's never really had a chance. She's always been sore and off, never got a chance to train and really get so smart. She picked up. Mario said she won a mile in 2.4, 2.5. I thought she was awesome. I didn't see her. She was behind me, but he was happy. I'm happy. Last two races of the day were scorchers, and I saw a real good-looking filly, Free Flying Ticket. Better than Cheddar filly. 55 flat, by far the fastest mile of the year. Looked good doing it, too. Moved her to the front down the backstretch. We had Wiggle Delight in there. I didn't see the line. I think she probably paced 56 and a bit, 57. No, James said she paced 57, fastest last quarter of the race. I remember saying that. She was very, very good. Wiggle Delight was only ready for 58, 59. She went a mile in 57 today. Impressive. This is a legit filly. 2 starts, 2 fast miles she needs, hopefully next week. And then her first stake race, we'll see what Wiggle Delight can do. And then what about our girl in the last event, Trafalgar? I look up, she's sitting 5th in the last turn, getting into the last turn. I see Louis kick out the earplugs. I'm like, oh my God. Big freight train started coming. And Mary said to me after, she goes, I know you don't want to hear this, but she looked like Book the Bet. She did. Only difference is Book the Bet never would have went by that last horse. Book the Bet was a racehorse. But we all know, if you were involved with the Book the Bet stable, you know that she was squandered speed and squandered talent. But did okay for us. That was fine. This filly finished off her work. Good horses finished their work off. Now, when I say that, I had 2 horses I love that didn't finish their work off today. But, as a rule, good horses finish their work. And Trafalgar had a chance to throw a knockout punch halfway down the lane, and she swung for the fences. Drove past the leader, drove away, finished her work off, impressed the hell out of me. Looked awesome. Louis Philippois, I said to him after, you're driving her. Where do you want to race her, Grassroots or Gold? He said Gold. So that's what Louis Philippois thinks of this filly. I think he's right. Beautiful filly, floats over the ground, beautiful gait, great demeanor. Everything about her screams nice horse, and I was happy to see what I saw today. So that's all the qualifiers. We got a lot out of the way. We had obviously some unfortunate news with Johan. We had a shitty night at the races last night in New York. Our Vica's on her way home. New York horses will be in to go at Monticello. Hopefully it was a learning experience for the trainer, the driver, and the horses. We'll get any issues patched up, and away we go. And a lot going on for me this week. So my Wednesday this week looks like Wednesday coming up, really blue chip in the Sire Stakes in New York. I may even go to Northfield that night to drive a 2-year-old trotter on the Northfield program. Continue on to Columbus to drive, I believe, Rose Run Versatile. His first start in Ohio at Scioto. As you can guess, our Ohio horses are leaving. They are leaving first of the week. They're leaving first of the week for Columbus. And that's that. Take care.